This is the Wahoo Creek after the big flooding we had. You can see over here on the far side over here where it washed a lot of his field away. You can see over here where those bushes are at. That was the bank before, and it's washed it all away. So it's did quite a bit. This is a whole lot wider than it used to be. And of course the farmer replanted. Looks like it's coming up pretty good. So I'm walking in the field, kind of avoiding his plants that he's planted. But see, here's where it washed out even more. He's losing part of his farm every time it floods. It takes more of the bank away. And kind of two reasons for coming down here is one is to take a little closer at all the wash away, and this here, when the flood was all underwater, you can see on that tree it's just flowing right over this and right through here. Up here is a little place where they just created a nice little creek going through here. We know there's carp in there because some washed up onto the ball field. My wife was mowing it. There's a couple of them dead in there, and of course she threw it over into the cornfield, helped fertilize the cornfield. But yeah, you can see all this washed away. You can see where the bank used to be, and then it's washed a little bit more of it away in some places. In other places, like over there in the grass, it didn't do it. So I'm gonna walk down. We have a platform down here for hunting off of. I'm gonna walk down there on my walk this morning and get a little extra one in today. And this is a Wednesday, and it's my day from normal my therapy or my rehab for my bypass, and so I have pretty much all day off. So I'm going to do a nice long walk today, and it's supposed to get up in the 90s, so I'll stay in the house the rest of the day when it gets hot. But we'll turn the air conditioner on, and so I'll start another video once I get to a point where something more interesting is going on. Well, I thought I'd kind of show you where we're at here. There's some little prints over here from probably probably a raccoon or something, and something else in there, maybe a coyote, because there are a bunch of coyotes around here. But take a look at this tree, how much of this it eroded away. The whole root system there is pretty much exposed, so that tree will not last too much longer. It'll probably fall into the creek here in a few years. But here's where the low part was, and it rushed through here, and then there's a big old stream. That's, you can see there where the water is. You know, there's still water there from the flood and some of the rains. But there's prints in the mud from different animals running through here. And but yeah, that's interesting how, you know, the roots all opened up and exposed, and they were underground, and now they're not. It's washed away quite a bit. You can see here about how much it washed away, and of course it's leaning a little bit more than it probably was before too. So you can see all the root system running clear out over here. Yeah, big old root system coming down over here. Yeah, you can see more prints over here. Probably won't be able to get down to too close if it was doing some fishing over here on this side anyway. Yeah, looks like probably coyote prints in here, and raccoons, some deer. I was hoping to see a lot more deer prints, but well, we'll take a look here. Here's another tree that's growing almost horizontally, but probably fall down here real soon, I would think. And it looks like some of his equipment is washed into the creek. It was on alongside the creek, but I think it's washed away and fell in. With this big log, probably floated down the river and more roots exposed and more trees going to be falling down. Then that just makes the bank erode out even more. Yeah, that truck wasn't close to the bank. It looks like the whole bank from about where the green grass is down there, that was part of the bank. I don't want to get too close. I don't know how stable the bank is here. You can see it's kind of undercut. So it looks like it lost probably 10-15 feet of the bank. That's why all this equipment fell in. At least that's what I'm assuming anyway. But it's down quite a ways from what it was before. That's an awful lot of water to fill all this up and flood the field. Yeah, I don't know what he's going to do on this stuff. It's like part of his irrigation system. He does have the irrigation system out in the truck. I'm not sure what the truck is for, but probably to power something up. If you kind of look at the corn, we got some corn here that's up quite a ways and some just coming up. This is what he planted the first time. He had planted like the week before we had all the flooding, so some of the corn still managed to stay there, and you can see he planted again because there's another row in between here. So he has some old stuff, some new stuff. Looks like most of that out there is all new stuff that just kind of washed away, but some of it still stayed. So, but didn't look like there's a lot of water come over right here, so that might have helped save this part right here. So I'm going to walk in between the rows here. I don't want to step on any of the corn. You know, each stalk is an ear of corn, and ear of corn has a lot of kernels on it, and it all adds up. Now, coming up here on another spot here that's interesting. It eroded a whole bunch of it away because the bank wasn't dropped down like that before. You know, because we've been out here because, you know, we hunt this area too. So, but you can see a lot of sand got deposited in through here, and then it just kind of eroded the whole bank away. So let's see. You know, this could be a spot if I wanted to go fish, because I think we could probably just about get down there. Not right now because I'm still in rehab for my bypass, but this might be a place to come throw a line out in the creek and see what we catch. Yeah, a whole bunch of concrete down here for some reason. Now, let me walk around this. And you can see footprints in when it was soft. A couple different animals going through here. Kind of nice one when it's soft like that and it gets hard, and you can kind of see what animals walking through here. You can see it's all cracked, or it's really dried out. You know, we've had some rain and then they get dry, and my garden, I have wood chips on it, so it doesn't dry out like this. But there's this cable here. Oh, that was fastened down a little more, and I can pull out. I was going to move it off of where he works, tractors. There's going to be lots of stuff in here. the last flood we had, not this one we had this year, but one a few years ago. An old metal wagon wheel washed up in the field. It's like you wouldn't think a big hunk of metal that doesn't have anything to make it float would flow into the field. That's how much force there was in these floods when they come. You can see, all the corn stalks and stuff, more exposed roots from a tree. Looks like this one right here. Yeah, and that one's exposed completely. That one looks like it's all dead. Another little spot where there's a bunch of garbage, and might be too that as they're going through the field, kind of shove it over here to the side so that it's not in the middle of the field, because you definitely don't want to hit that with the planters or the diskers, because that kind of mess them up a little bit. See down there all the footprints in the what was mud, sand and mud. And up here coming up, we're going to see there's a whole bunch of sand up here someplace. Lots of sand down here. Another low spot. Interesting. I'll go ahead and stop this for now, and then I'll come back when I get a little bit more information here, and pretty soon here we'll get up to where our stand is, and we'll see what it looks like. Well, I got down to the line. I didn't realize it was down this far. I was wondering if it was still there, but it's here, so let's see how much it eroded around it. Big old pile right here. That was there before, of dirt. So let's see. I know this one leg over here eroded out, and let's see. Yeah, this one's still in, so it's just that one. Let's see how far this eroded. Oh yeah, it took all this out down here, so that's kind of hanging down. You can see it's pulling down, so we need to get in here and knock that stuff off, and I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to have to do something to support that up a little bit more. But that eroded quite a ways back there. But not everything washed away. He's got a little, oh, because he's got it strapped. He strapped it to the leg, so that didn't float away. That little Moultrie feeder there. Don't have anything in it, but yeah, so it's not too bad. You can see quite a bit of lean there on it. So it didn't fare too bad. That tree there, we have a tree stand, or a ladder stand. We need to get in there and do a little work on it. It's been up there for a little while. We need to straighten it up, but I'm not too far away. And then I seen down here some footprints down here. Is a little softer, deer, and then some turkey down here. So we do have deer. Not seeing a lot in the mud, but that's not too far away. So depending on where it's coming, it's a little bit of a long shot for archery, but during muzzleloader or rifle season, it would be a fairly easy shot. But you can see where it eroded some more bank away. You can see where it dropped down there a little bit. The bank slid down. There's a lot of stuff that piled up. Another spot down here where the bank is slid. Not sure on this side because I'm not going to get close enough to look over the side. Well, here's the river looking back where I walked from. And continuing on. And you can see right here, this bank used to go clear out to here, and it washed out underneath, and this whole pot of this ground just dropped down. So you can see how much it's kind of washed away, and all kinds of stuff washed up, looks like a rug of some kind, but you can see it drop down there. So there's going to be several places like that. So if we do go down to the creek, we're going to have to watch, because we don't know how stable it is underneath that. It's probably not too bad, but I'm not going to take a chance. And if you look down here, you can see down there at the bottom the little mud trailers. Animals have walked down there and gone into the creek. But that's the end of it. Now the field over here on the left is the field where we hunt. This from the trees over belongs to another guy, so I'm not going to be following down the river, going on his property over here. So I'll be going up and following up here, and so that's it for the river, what the flooding did there. Up the other end, there's some pretty good flooding at the other end. Over there where there's trees over there, it flowed all the way through this property and through that property, and then there's a little pond or a little back there, and it just flowed into that. It's a big old stream coming in there before, so we'll see what it looks like up there a little bit further, but that's probably about it for this video. There may be a couple more little ones I'll be adding to the end of here once I get up here the other end, see if anything kind of shows what was going on. But we can see here, oh yeah, here's another place that it created a little creek running through the property. Yeah, a little bit darker all the way back there. It's a bit darker, this little, where it's a little more dirt or something in there, and where it flowed all the way through and down into the creek. And it looks like over there at the far end, I really eroded away a bunch. I don't know if we get up here a little closer, I can see it or not. Oh, look at it's all dried up and flaky underneath it. So yeah, that's kind of, hear it crunching as I walk on it. Yeah, there's a little bit of a hill here. Let me muck over all this sand. Yeah, it looks like right over there it's kind of eroded out really bad. And there was a fence going down here, but I don't, maybe not down this far, but I know there was a fence along here. Maybe it's just the row of trees that separates two properties, but we're gonna walk down here. I come in way up over there. I live about a mile up the other way, so I walked down the mile, get down here, walked all the way around the field to check out the blind down here, and then our ladder stand, which is down right over there. And I'm gonna walk up this way, then back out there and back home. Gonna get a long walk in today. This is interesting. Got a little patch here. You can see where the corn had been planted before. It was up pretty good, and the new corn was planted. Because he just replanted, looks like he planted the whole thing, not knowing what was going to come, what not going to come up. So we got a nice patch here that has some older planted corn and new, but most of the field is all new seedlings. That's why as I'm walking, I'm making sure I don't step on any of them, because that's near corn if you step on one or drive over them. So that's why I didn't want to drive in the field, because you can't avoid them. We have a spot coming up here that's going to look like it's interesting. You can see up there where it's a little bit lighter, where a bunch of sand is gathered. This soil here doesn't look like it's really much dirt. A lot of sand in it, looks like. A little bit harder walking because the roads aren't quite so far apart. Yeah, some of that corn's actually in pretty good shape. You can tell it kind of got wet because the a little bit brown around the edges. And we have a standing patch of water out in the middle of the field here. As well as some in the neighboring field over here. Hopefully this isn't too wet. I don't have hiking boots on, so it's kind of rough, but it's dry. As long as I stay away from the stuff that's a little bit darker. Somebody's a little rubber shoe. Oh yeah, looks like if you got a lot of mud was in there. Coming up here is that little patch of sand that I was looking at. Yeah, a bunch of water still in here. Looks like that was all dug up, drove through, and discs when it was really muddy. It's amazing how much when it floods like this, it leaves all the sand. You know, it doesn't deposit much dirt, just a lot of sand. Big old pile of sand right here. I've got some turkeys been running through here. Looks like some deer been going through here. And a few other little animals. Not sure what they are, but probably coyotes. Well, that's kind of pretty much about it. I get the other end up here. I'll go ahead and pause this until I get the other end. Well, here's where there was a big stream of water coming down, flowing down here. When it was flooding, it was quite a bit of water coming down here and then going down into this creek that's down here. And you can see, look at all this sand that it deposited right here. This is a lot of sand they put down here, and you know, not much grows in sand. And when you look at it, there's quite a bit of sand down here before you even get down to any real dirt. Yeah, quite a ways down there, several inches of sand piled up there, and eventually over the years, you know, disking it back in, it'll eventually get in there with the dirt. But yeah, a little bit of a low spot. Don't know if you can see it, but it was coming in over here at the far end, and there's a little low spot running all the way down here, and then here's the low spot that runs clear down here and into that little creek that's running right over there next to the house over there. So that's kind of what this flood did to this field. Not quite as bad as you could be, but still bad enough to deposit all this sand in here. The last one come through really tore it up right in through here. The last one really tore it up right here, but this one is actually higher, so it spread out over more instead of concentrate everything in one spot. So that is what we have. And down there is they cut a little trail in there to drain it a little bit, it looks like. And so that's it for my walk around the field here to take a look at that. And now I'm gonna just head back home. I've been on my walk for a little while now, A little extra long walk today. Let's see. We are, can't tell if we can see it very well here. Oh, screen cut off. There we go. We're at 1 hour and 1 minute and 2.39 miles and 5,100 steps. So I'm getting my walk in for today. It's not real hard, but I can still talk while I'm walking, so I'm not working super hard, but I can tell it's getting a little bit, you know, I've put some effort into it today. So let's call it good for this one, and we'll catch you on the next one here, and that's something interesting. We'll create a video of that too.